Hi, I've been meaning to do a video on Oaxaca, the Oaxacan coast hospitality. Particularly, I want to talk about Mazunte and Zipolite, how the scenery is changing regarding properties in hospitality and the wellness theme as well. So Mazunte used to be a town where turtles, turtle killing, turtle eating, just to be one of the main economic activities from the Mazunte town. So after a little bit, at some point, the Mexican government decided that the turtles needed to be protected. So during that time, they work a lot with the communities, and the communities turned it around totally. And Mazunte turned from a town that used to exploit turtles, not in a good way, to being a town where they really respected sustainability and they understood the relationship with the turtles and the sea and how this provided a lifestyle and a wellness kind of thing, a sustainable theme. Also, Mazunte is one of the towns that has very strict environmental standards regarding construction. Not everybody actually looks at them or follows them, but in writing, they do have very high standards. So this is because Mazunte went from this horrible place for turtles to turning into a sustainable town, which made an opening specifically for people that were looking into wellness a while back. So this is not a wellness new thing. There's a lot of yoga, very famous yoga places where they do retreats. And from then, a lot of people started knowing Mazunte, and Mazunte is right now well known as a wellness area. Punta Cometa, which is amazing. It's a walk that you do to the highest point in the Pacific. So that kind of pilgrimage per se to watch the sunset, and there's a lot of elements. There's all sorts of holistic therapies, there's eclectic dancing, there's all sorts of therapies that you can find in Mazunte. So it has not only been sustainable, it moved to wellness. Now, I think when people start getting to Mazunte, when the town was growing, after it was like, I suppose around the time it was called Pueblo Mágico, it was appealing a lot to the international community. So a lot of people that was arriving there started marrying Mexican people, like Mexican wives and husbands and things like that. And one of the things that they did to be able to stay economically in this place was to establish hotels. So there are a couple of boutique hotels in these areas where most of the owners started the project around 10 years ago, more or less. So they've been working on this opportunity, on these hospitality centers, running the hotels, the little boutique hotels, in the best way they can. But I do notice that after 10 years or so, they are tired. They realize the hospitality market has totally changed from a decade or 2 decades ago. Before, people used to travel to a little town and look for different things. And right now, the tourism that's traveling is very different. Not only is it very different, but it's looking for different services. And funnily enough, I think from my point of view, I think it's really easy to connect the wellness that they already, the town is already provided with the hospitality that they used to run. The thing is that they're seeing different people, different requests, and some owners are just done with the hotels and they are selling them. But I think it's definitely this change where there's a lot of opportunity in the hospitality area, particularly, where you can update hotels to have very niche things. It could be yoga, it could be I don't know, these tons of water treatments. They have contrast therapy, any sort of things that's more like spiritual or towards wellness oriented. I think it can be integrated now. There's a ton of these properties that are very lovely, that have been well kept. They have amazing views. They're in the middle of nature. The whole town is already sustainable oriented and spiritually open to people that are respectful. So yeah, I think if you're looking for a place somewhere in the world to run a retreat or to have this specific kind of retreats or weddings, things like that, specifically wellness, I think Mazunte and the Oaxacan coast in general, it's a great place to go. One of the things that I really love about it, and you can see, is that Mazunte, for example, has these very high-end hotels And what people love about them is that people that go and stay there, you cannot differentiate them without walking around in the street. And I think that's the super highlight of privacy for people that go and visit these places, that they can live a life that is private, that is low-key, and that is super natural and super local. People in these towns are still, they say hi to everybody, good morning, and they are very helpful. And another good thing that I rarely speak about, but I probably should do more videos on, is in Oaxaca and Chiapas, which is two states in Mexico, because they have been very south. They're at the very south, Oaxaca and Chiapas, because they're at the very south of Mexico. They've been usually relegated because of the political situation of the country. So whatever states put in more income, because it's a federation, they receive more attention from the government. So Chiapas and Oaxaca, because they were not really generating, they were sending people to the states, kind of thing, naturally. The government did not really put in much infrastructure for them historically. So the towns, specifically Oaxaca, which is what I am more familiar with, these people managed to do their own community. So they know how to manage community matters, no problem, which is an amazing feature that I cannot see anywhere else, that you cannot find in cities. These people organize themselves. They have these things like tequio. If you don't know what it is, it's like I'm sorry, it's not like a volunteering, it's your responsibility to help out the community, and it's expected from you. And it can be you showing up and doing the work, or you can pay somebody to go and do it for you, which is still flexible. But it's this very community oriented, and I think the wellness and this privacy and this new luxury thing really works in these towns. Now let's talk a little bit about Zipolite. I think Zipolite started growing, Zipolite started in the 60s, 70s with a lot of people from the Woodstock community really started moving and finding these Mexican beaches. And a lot of people as well from Mexico, Abandero movement and all of that also found it. So there's people that has been going every single summer to do surfing in Mexicans, and also the surfer community from really internationally. So eventually Zipolite turns into the only nudist beach allowed, and it attracts a lot of not only naturalist people, but also the gay community, LGBTQ, which the people are really accepting due to this, the fact that they are a nudist beach. And people are really accepting and really, they see the economic benefit of that, as long as people that are in Zipolite are respectful with the community. You would think like, oh, it's a place where everybody can be nude and whatever, but still the community has their own rules and their own settings. So you cannot go around and walk around the town in the nude. So you can go to the beach. There's some restaurants and bars that is specifically for that, but people like to, when people are respectful, that's what they ask for, which is really great. So what's the hospitality situation for Zipolite? Zipolite has a big community, like I said, from LGBTQ, but not only that, a lot of historically as well, this community have had more resources, because when you get married, you have children, and that your income just usually diminishes. So I think generationally, gay people have kept more income because of that. So I'm finding, as I am selling in Zipolite, that most people that are owning property in Zipolite are not only gay, but they're also, this is their second or third residency. And they like the lifestyle because they have like big parties and people are really friendly. And the gay community, they really know each other. So I think it's definitely, they like also the fact that it is this low-key luxury where everybody knows each other and it doesn't matter what you're wearing. And that is the cool thing about it. They like the fact that you cannot just grab a private jet and just park and get off in the Zipolite beach. So you have to make it to an airport, rent a car, or pay a 3,000 peso taxi to take you to a little town, with palm trees. And so that is really appealing for this community. They like to keep it rustic, they like to keep it how it is, and they are keeping it like that. So one of the reasons why Zipolite is a good investment is because even though you will go in the town will look like any regular town in Mexico, it's quite pricey compared to other towns because that's what's keeping it rustic. And that is one of the things that you wouldn't expect. We expect more technology, more cameras, and that's what we don't want. Evidently, that's what we don't want. That's what people are avoiding. So yeah, prices are piling up. There's more trust and trust properties and things like that for foreign people for safe investments. And there's a lot of community that are living there part-time and a lot of nomads as well. So Zipolite is definitely one of the places that's the strongest after Puerto Escondido, I think, on the Oaxacan coast. And well, next time I'll talk about Puerto Escondido, which is a totally different animal from Huatulco and totally different from Zipolite and Mazunte.